do you see yourselves? I mean, Dream Theater is a band that's I've always seen to be very kind of not self-contained, more self-sufficient. You've been very much into. You don't rest on your laurels, you know. You do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you notice now that you have to do less if you want to or not, but because you got like a steady label behind you?
No, I don't notice we have to do less. It kind of hasn't really changed in that respect. We are our own little empire, like you said, and we're basically doing the same, if not more, as far as press, touring. We're playing in more places. We're going to places we haven't been before. So, no, I wouldn't say we do less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about playing, I wonder about in the Count of Tuscany. There is this dreamy part which comes in after 11 minutes and lasts for 4 minutes,
Right.
which is my favorite part of the new album.
Thanks.
I wonder, the lyrics combined with the music, how do you work that?
Well, that's an interesting question because the music is written first, so it's kind of it's a little bit tricky as a lyricist to come up with something that's going to go along with it. The way I do it personally is I keep listening to the track over and over and over, and you become influenced by the music in a particular section. One section might sound very aggressive and like it's storytelling time. One section might sound like it's more anthemic and it's like a conclusion. And so lyrically you kind of get influenced by that. And in the story of the Count of Tuscany, that middle part seemed to work because it kind of made it just it's very dreamy and kind of surreal, and it sort of adds, I think, to the whole mystery of that story and that experience.
And because of the line that
could this be the end? Is this the way I die? Sitting here alone, no one by my side. I don't understand. I don't feel that I
That experience.
And because of the line that follows when the vocals start again is about when you have died, kind of. So you were kind of dead in the dream part, the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time if that's a true story, and it is a true story.
Okay.
The only thing that is in the lyrics, it's a little bit more dramatic than what actually happened. I never died. I was never really scared, but it was just more of a bizarre experience.
Artistic license.
What do they call that? Dramatic?
Well, it was for dramatic effect in this case.
I just wonder one thing about this. You have many long songs, as you've always kind of had, and the shortest one this time is Wither with 5.25 minutes.
Yeah.
When you make a song, how do you work to make it a whole song, despite that there are different parts? For like when you have the 90-minute song, I never think that this is 3 songs in one.
Right.
I think it's flowing. How do you work with that?
Experience, I guess. It's tricky to make it sound like it's not sort of glued together. Sometimes some of our songs sound like that to me. That's my criticism to myself. Is sometimes when I listen back to some older songs, they sound a little glued together. But I think you learn how to do that. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening that people don't really pick up on, where we're using themes over and over, but they're in different disguised forms. So maybe it's just a matter of the time signature being the same. Maybe it's a matter of the key being the same, or the melody, or maybe the melody is used as a riff underneath and you don't even know it. So we do all these little disguising things to kind of make it flow. And I guess what we're thinking about is it's kind of like, especially in a long song like that, we want it to be like as if you were watching a short film or something, where you don't notice the time that's going by. You're just kind of sucked in by the story, and that's what we try to do. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
There's one thing I kind of find interesting there. When you talk about your process, and everybody knows that the Dream Theater is a band that's very, not just musicians. They're very much enjoy being musicians, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Falling into Infinity, it was Desmond Child, was that his name? He was like, like this kind of well-known outside songwriter.
Sure.
Who came in and did some stuff with you. And as far as I remember, I read something afterwards where you guys kind of said, okay, looking back, it's not something that you would do again, or maybe not regret it, but so how do you look back on that? I mean, is this something that you do regret, or do you think it was a good move, or what?
I don't regret it. It was actually a good experience for me personally. You know, was it necessary? Probably not.
Was it label pressure, or was it something you
wanted?
Yeah,
it was. It was a little bit of the label saying, "I'm not hearing it." You know, you got to write more songs, which doesn't usually happen. So it was a bit strange.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe you should sit down with this guy and work. I personally was open-minded to it because at that point we had done a bunch of albums, and we're experiencing a little bit of frustration as to taking it to the next level. And you know, I respect Desmond as a songwriter, so I was comfortable with doing it.
And I suppose like you guys have always been kind of open to collaboration, anyway, with all your projects and everything. And but it's something you wouldn't really consider again now.
No.
Unless it's somebody of your own choice, like let's say some kind of somebody who's legendary to you or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be something different. I think that would be more of a collaboration. This was, I think, an effort by the record label and the producer to bring something forth that they weren't hearing. Kind of
an influence from them that they probably didn't understand what you guys were truly about. So
exactly. And I think, you know, like I said, I don't regret it. It was fun, but I think the lesson is it didn't really do anything.
Right.
So the lesson is to really play upon your strengths, and I think that's what helped develop us.
Which is, it seems from a memory following the album for me, and it was a big. It was more a Dream Theater album, in my opinion.
Sure.
Or what I wanted from the band.
Back on the album, there's one song that, in my opinion, sticks out, and that's the Best of Times.
Okay.
It seems, even though everything is very personal, that seems very personal, if you see what I mean, because it's dedicated to.
Sure.
Yeah. I wonder, was it hard to do that track when you have in mind a very personal approach to it?
Yeah, it was. You know, once again, the music is written first, so we wrote that song not knowing what it was going to ultimately be about. But when Mike's father took ill, and then, you know, during that time, Mike decided that this would be the perfect song for him to sort of write about his experience of losing his dad, which I could relate to. I lost my dad. Then it became difficult, you know. Like doing the guitar solo at the end, I was just thinking about his father, and it was more emotional, But
that's a very the song. It's my favorite song on the album, and it's that's where you mentioned earlier about you do the melodies and you do them in different ways throughout the song.
Absolutely.
That's a very good example.
Yes.
With a beautiful intro to the song, which you actually use again later on in a different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We use it 3 different ways.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it serves as a sort of a thematic introduction with the guitar. In the middle, it's kind of serves as a bridge. It's like an orchestrated symphonic version with the strings playing the melody. It's in a totally different key. And at the end of the song, it serves as the anthemic guitar solo outro. So that's a perfect example.
When you